and Sherlock Starfish here for another episode of Let's Sew. Oh my goodness. Let's Sew. I don't know how to Anyway, hi. So we've been making Sherlock. We've been playing with the layer cake and octagon template. We've painted things up. We're picking, cutting, sewing. We've already made 12 blocks. We've got 30 more to go. There's 42 blocks, 42 squares in a layer cake. Let me show you what we've got so far. All right, so here's the layer cake. Here's the blocks we've been making so far out of the layer cakes. And we're doing our very best to make them all different. So we're pairing like two together. Like we paired these two together and then we swap, right? Pair, swap, pair, swap, pair, swap, pair, swap, and pair, swap. And then we are going to finish our other 30 10-inch squares. All right. What do you think, Sherlock? Are we ready? Are we ready? Woof. You gonna give me a woof? No? You're not gonna give me a woof? Okay. All right, so thank you, Sherlock. So the last time we did this, I showed you a way that we did this. We cut them and then we sewed them. I'm going to show you the sewing, then the cutting for the diagonal because it's really cool and it's one of those things that you can do with a layer cake. So we'll have another diagonal. Okay, so we got our two 10-inch squares, and I'm going to use the lighter one. It's a little bit easier to see. We're going to put that right over the top. We don't need to do that yet, but the key is, let's get this 45 on here. Now your ruler, if you're using a straight edge ruler, or one of these kind of rulers, there's a 45 line on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a pencil mark right here. So from one corner to the other. And I've got my fancy dancy carpenter pencil, which I like using very much. Are we in the 45? So I'm checking twice. So I'm looking at this line and then this line to make sure that we've got, whoops. Get it lined up, there you go. All right. And we've got a line. And that's going to be our line that we are going to use as an edge when we're sewing. So let me show you what I mean. Let's put our template over here. Now we haven't cut yet, right? We're going to use our line for the seam side. So I am, where's my, there we go. I've got my 1/4 inch seam, which is exactly on the side. Oops. Huh. On that side. Okay, so I've got my needle pushed all the way away from the side that I'm sewing on to make sure that I've got my 1/4 inch. I don't know if I've got my thread on there right. I do. Okay. Down. Let's sew. And I'm just going right along the side. So that line that I drew is going to be my cut mark. But I'm going to sew first. It's a lot easier to get that sew when I don't have that. Let's move it to the other side. Okay. And there we go. Now I've got the pencil mark on the other side. So we've got, I should have done this with dark thread. Okay, so we've sewn here, we've sewn on this side, and then we've got the mark in the middle, and we are just going to slice that. And after we, there goes the pencil. After we slice it, pizza cutters, we always want to slice away. After we slice it, we have, ta-da! Ta-da-da-da. Sweet, huh? And there we go. There we go. Oh, look, there's Chucks. There's the ducks. The Chucks. Okay. So, by the way, this method that I just showed you, this was taught to me by my friend Bethany. Hi, Bethany. Hope everything's going good. She's a long-arm seamstress. Wow. Like all hail, all arms. You are amazing. You are amazing. This way you don't have to play with all the triangles. And so this fabric, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but this fabric is from Missouri Star Quilt Company. This is from a fabric a fabric buying spree that I did with my friend Bethany in Hamilton, Missouri. And all this fabric is from Welcome Home. This panel is also going to be on here. This is Hamilton, Missouri, or aka Quilt Town. The town looks exactly like the panel. I'm going to use the panel on the back or the front. I haven't decided yet. But right now I'm just playing with the 10-inch layers. So let's keep going. Okay, here we go with the next one. We're going to go from the corner of the square to one of the triangle, or one of the octagon pieces here. And then the next one will go from the corner to another one. So we'll have this really big piece. And I've got a big piece pattern underneath it. So this is one of those large patterns, and I want to make sure that I have a large piece on this one. So let's get that cut. So we got that line to there, that line to there. Let's move our triangle and we'll get that cut. Make sure we got our cut. Good. All right. So I've cut it, and I'm going to swap the pieces, and we're going to sew them. Be gentle with these pieces because we don't want them to stretch. So. Oh, there we go. Got it? Yes. All right. I just moved the needle back. And I like to use my needle and the side to help me get my 1/4 inch. There we go. So we've got a piece in there. So let's get the other one sewn. Iron these open first, and then we'll get the other side. All right, so we've got these sewn on, and you can see we're going to lose a lot of edge, right, with this one because we've gone so narrow. So they're going to have a lot of fabric loss when we turn these back into squares. If we turn them back into squares, we might do something else. But okay, we're going to do from the corner to this outside on the other side. Let's move our octagon. Yep, we should have them on top of each other, shouldn't we? Okay, let's try that again. Cheryl, on top of you. There we go. Back on here. You're about. So we lost the top, right? So I'm not even using this. I'm using this side, and this side. this corner to this corner. We are lined up with both pieces on top. All right, now sew the other side. And you can see from the, maybe you can't see. What's nice on this, the pinking is my outside of my square from these pre-cut 10-inch layer cake. So the pinking always goes on the outside. So it's the smooth edge that I'm, come on. What I'm catching on, by the way, is the pinking. That pinking fabric is catching on the thread and not laying flat. That's what I'm having to go back at it again. All right, there we go. Get those ironed open and we will go to the next square. Ta-da! Isn't this cute? So we go Highway 36 to get to Hamilton. Here's a little Missouri Star Quilt, Missouri Star Quilt. Here's American Tile. Here's Penny's Quilt Shop. Got that, look, peaceful. R. This is so fun. Okay, with this one, I'm going to start at the center of the 10-inch square and go to this angle of the octagon and then cut from there to there. I'm going to go ahead and do both cuts at the same time. I know that I've been doing cut and then sew and cut and sew. On this one, I'm going to cut, and then sew, actually. Make sure we have cut. Okay, back. Wow. When does that happen? That went out pretty nice, didn't it? Okay, now we're going to cut from here to there. Pop you off. Let me get the correct angle for this. Okay, yes, we did. Okay. All right. Now, let's sew these babies. Oh my goodness, excuse me. I cleaned my sewing machine right before I started, so I've got the 3-in-1 oil kind of. Oh no. Gentle. There we go. One thread was still attached. So, gotta clean the sewing machine every once in a while. I'll get all the fuzz off of it. There we go. 31 oil is what I use. Same thing to get the squeak out of your door hinges. That's a chain piece, this one. Is 2 in a row a chain piece? I don't know, maybe. Kinda. If we call it. Alright. I'm gonna get this iron open and then we'll sew the other side. Alright, so this fabric is Welcome to Quilt Town. So, Missouri Star. Alright, let's get the other side on here. Pinking goes on the outside. There we go. Line you up. I've never done layer cakes before, so we're just as many different blocks as we can make. This kind of looks a little, I don't know. When we get the seam on here, we're going to lose our point, so it'll be more like that. We'll see. We'll see. We're playing. Okay, so for this next one, we're going to go from this corner on the octagon to this corner. So we're going to end up, and then we'll do the same on this other side, so we'll get this stripe coming out. So we'll have these 2 big triangles on the outside. All right, I lined it. I'm going to go ahead and cut the other side as well. There we go. Okay, so that got us from this corner to this corner. Okay, and it gave us a 4-inch stripe out of the center. Cool, huh? Fun with octagons. gonna just go ahead and turn this around and get the other side on here because we don't need to, because we have no intersection. We don't have to iron yet. So we are already on the sewing machine, so let's sew. Make it so, make it so. Oh, this yellow is such a pretty yellow. Thank you, Sherlock. Is there birds out there? Is there birds? You like the yellow too? Mm-hmm. Chiffon yellow? You think it's chiffon yellow? I don't know. Is that chiffon yellow? Is that lemon meringue or is that chiffon yellow? We don't know. All right, let's get this ironed up. One of them with the stripe in the center. Get that block lined up. Okay, I wanted to show you something. So we've got this. We got the stripe that shows up in the center, right? Like this, like this. And I will tell you, pressing this was kind of weird. So this one was a little easier to do. I pressed the light to the dark, right? And it was really easy to fold this open. But the other way, where I pressed the light to the dark, like getting this stripe was, was a challenge with the iron. So I did it, but was it worth it? I don't know. You know, there's lots of thoughts on that, and if you have an opinion about it, put it below so other people can see it. So anyway, there you go. Okay, so here's our next one we're gonna do. We're gonna do a stripe coming out of the center. So you can go from this corner of the octagon to this corner, and then we'll do from this corner to this corner. So we'll have a middle stripe that's looks like about a third of a third, I think. Anyway, let's cut that up. So sew these babies up. This fabric is so pretty. And you think you're lucky that, you know, hey, if you don't go to Hamilton, Missouri to see all the wonderful fabric stores, you're safe. You're not safe. You can buy this stuff online. Which is awful. Because if you think about it, right? Doggone it. If you left the town, you're like, okay, I left the town. I didn't buy that one fabric, that other fabric. And you get online and you can buy it. And it's all good stuff. Let's not come apart here. So, I need the dark one on the other side. Pinking on the outside, smooth on the inside. So this pre-cut stuff is pretty cool. It's expensive, but it's pretty cool. All right, let's get the other side. So when you're sewing a light and a dark together like this, and you hold it up, you can see that that light either lines up or it doesn't line up. So I go straight in the middle. All right, there we go. So I ironed this out with the white on the outside. So I press dark to light, so the way you're not supposed to do it. So we'll see how that looks in the end. We can compare that. And then I wanted to show you this. Excuse me. I want to show you this. Like, this looked a little wonky to me. I was like, what happened? So if we take it and we fold it like this, we can see that we are not quite lined up. So we have a kind of a sideways wonky looking square. Are we going to use it? Yes. It's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. So, we're all right. All right, so for our next one, I decided I'm going to do a big triangle coming off here and a little triangle. And what I've done is I've turned the octagon square, or the template, excuse me, because it's a little bit easier to see these holes and to line those up on the corner, on the edge. So what I mean is we got this one, and then we're going to just use the template. So turning the template the way it normally fits on here and get this little guy over here. So we took a big chunk off and a little chunk off. I know. What's this going to look like? I don't know. Let's see. Come on, thread. Keeps hanging up on my pinky. Okay. Big triangles back on. Those little triangles are tough to work with. Okay. Over here. What do you think, Sherlock? Do we like the little triangles? They normally look pretty cool when you have them on a quilt. But tell you what, sewing them is kind of weird. These turned out like this. Put it this way. So you got the little triangle on one side, big triangle on the other. Here's the opposite side. Kind of like a little, I think we need to see what this looks like with the whole quilt. All right, we're gonna stop this one from here. Thank you for joining us. I hope you had fun. I really like sewing. I like sewing. You know, all the not Facebook stuff. Is it Facebook or YouTube? We're on YouTube, Mom. This is the YouTube stuff. The YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe. I'm supposed to tell you to share too, but you do what you want. You want to find more videos like this? That helps you find more videos like this. Yeah. See you next time. Mwah! Have fun. Bye. Where are we going with this? I have no idea. We're playing.